My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe, because what is arriving now is not loud, not rushed, but precise. Today is January 6th, and this date carries a quiet weight that few recognize. You were not brought here by accident. You were guided here because your spirit sensed that something subtle yet important was unfolding. Archangel Michael steps forward in this very moment, not with thunder, not with alarm, but with calm direction meant for a decision that has been forming silently inside you. There is a stillness around you right now, even if your outer world feels busy. That stillness is intentional. It is the space where clarity is born. Michael says you have been standing at a crossroads that does not look dramatic on the outside, but it is significant in the spirit. This is not about a sudden change or a bold announcement. This is about a quiet choice, one that will steady your next steps for weeks and months to come. Listen carefully, because this message is not meant to rush you. It is meant to anchor you. You may have felt recently as if things slowed down unexpectedly. Conversations paused. Plans hesitated. People around you seemed uncertain or less responsive. This was not delay. It was protection. Archangel Michael says, I asked for silence around you so your heart could be heard again. When life gets loud, truth struggles to surface. So heaven created a gentle pause. January 6th marks a turning of internal alignment. What you decide now, even in the smallest way, sets the tone for what follows. This is not a day for force. This is a day for calm direction. Michael stands beside you with his sword lowered, not raised, signaling that no battle is required here. Wisdom, not defense, is needed. There is something you have been weighing quietly. Perhaps it involves a commitment, a direction, a conversation you have not yet had, or a step you are unsure about taking. You have asked yourself, is this really necessary? Or am I overthinking this? Archangel Michael says you are not overthinking. You are discerning. Discernment feels slower than impulse, but it is far more accurate. Pay attention to what brings you peace when you imagine it. Not excitement. Not fear. Peace. Peace is your compass today. This message comes with reassurance. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to choose what steadies you, not what impresses others. Michael says, stability is the doorway to momentum. If something drains you, confuses you, or pulls you into constant explanation, it is not aligned with this moment. You may notice signs today that feel unusually gentle. A kind word, a clear thought, a moment of relief. Do not dismiss them. These are confirmations. Heaven does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers so only the attentive will hear. There is also a release happening. The pressure you carried through the end of last season is beginning to loosen. You were never meant to carry it forward. Archangel Michael says, lay it down now. It has taught you what it needed to teach. This does not mean forgetting or denying what you've been through. It means you no longer have to lead with it. If you feel tired, that is not weakness. It is the signal that you have reached the end of one internal cycle. Rest today is productive. Quiet reflection is progress. You are not falling behind. You are recalibrating. This message asks you to stay present because clarity unfolds in layers. What is shared today is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to steady you. One grounded thought can redirect an entire path. One calm decision can prevent months of unnecessary stroll. Archangel Michael reminds you that courage does not always look like action. Sometimes courage looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like waiting one more day before responding. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace over proving a point. These are not small choices. They are powerful ones. There is protection around your next step. You are not walking into uncertainty alone. Michael stands as a guardian of clarity, cutting through confusion, not with force, but with truth. The right direction will feel firm, not frantic. As you continue listening, allow your shoulders to relax. You do not need to brace yourself for this message. Nothing here is meant to scare you or rush you. This is guidance wrapped in calm, strength wrapped in gentleness. And before this moment passes, know this: you are exactly where you need to be to receive what comes next. The decision forming inside you is not random. It is aligned. Stay with this message. Let it settle. What unfolds from here will make sense step by step, not all at once. Beloved one, as this message continues, allow your mind to settle even deeper, because Archangel Michael now draws your attention to what has been quietly shaping your thoughts. You may not have spoken it out loud, but there has been an inner question repeating itself, soft, persistent, and unresolved. This question is not a sign of doubt. It is a signal that you are ready to move from confusion into calm certainty. Michael says this moment is not about choosing between right and wrong. It is about choosing between noise and truth. You have recently noticed that external opinions feel heavier than they used to. Advice that once seemed helpful now feels distracting. This is because your discernment has sharpened. When growth happens, tolerance for misalignment decreases. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that you are not becoming distant, you are becoming clear. Clarity naturally creates boundaries, even when you do not announce them. There is also something important happening with your intuition. It is no longer whispering, it is calmly stating what it knows. You may feel less emotional about decisions that once overwhelmed you. That emotional neutrality is a gift. Michael says, when emotion settles, truth stands upright. This is why today feels quieter than usual. Your spirit is reorganizing its priorities. Pay attention to how your body responds when you think about your next step. Tightness is information. Ease is confirmation. You are being trained to listen beyond logic. Not everything aligned with you will make sense immediately, but it will feel steady. What is not aligned will demand urgency, explanation, or justification. Calm direction never pressures, it invites. Archangel Michael is also addressing a pattern from your past. You often delayed decisions because you feared making the wrong one. That season is ending. You are no longer choosing from fear of loss, you are choosing from understanding. This shift alone changes outcomes dramatically. Michael says, a grounded decision carries less risk than a rushed one fueled by anxiety. If you have been waiting for a sign that you are allowed to take things slowly, this is it. Heaven is not in a hurry with you. Progress measured in peace is still progress. You do not need to prove your strength by pushing yourself beyond your capacity. Strength now looks like wisdom. There is a gentle reminder here. Stop rehearsing conversations that have not happened yet. They drain energy without producing clarity. If something truly needs to be addressed, the opportunity will arise naturally. Until then, rest your mind. Silence is not avoidance. It is preparation. As this message flows, Archangel Michael also invites you to participate in this moment in a practical way. If this guidance is resonating with you, take a second to like this video so this message can reach others who are also standing at a quiet crossroads. Share it with someone who may need calm direction right now. Leave a comment to mark this moment for yourself. Sometimes writing "I receive clarity" is enough to anchor it. And if this space has been supporting you regularly, subscribing and joining the community helps strengthen this channel and keeps these messages flowing. Your engagement is not small. It multiplies impact. There is something else Michael wants you to know. You are not late. Even if it feels like others are moving faster, your timing is intentional. Speed is not the measure of alignment. Precision is. The path opening for you requires awareness, not haste. That is why distractions have been falling away recently. What remains is what matters. You may feel an urge today to simplify your schedule, your commitments, even your thoughts. Follow that instinct. Simplification is a form of spiritual intelligence. When fewer things compete for your attention, the right thing becomes obvious. Michael says, what is meant for you does not hide behind chaos. Notice how often peace returns when you stop explaining yourself. You do not owe everyone access to your process. Some steps are meant to be taken quietly. Protection often looks like privacy. This is especially important now as you move closer to a decision that shapes your immediate future. There is reassurance here for your heart. You will not miss what is meant for you by choosing rest today. You will not lose momentum by pausing to reflect. In fact, this pause is sharpening your direction. When movement resumes, it will feel natural, not forced. Before this section closes, let this land gently. You are being guided, not tested. There is no hidden trap in front of you. Only a door that opens when you are calm enough to see it. Trust that clarity unfolds when you remain present. Stay with this message, because what unfolds next connects the quiet decision you are sensing now with the stability you have been praying for. This is where the insight deepens, and you will be glad you didn't rush past it. My dear one, now the message deepens, because Archangel Michael is drawing your attention to what is stabilizing beneath the surface. What felt like uncertainty before is quietly rearranging itself into order. You may not see dramatic evidence yet, but you can feel the shift. It feels like your thoughts are landing instead of racing. It feels like your emotions are no longer pulling you in opposite directions. This is not accidental. This is the result of alignment beginning to take hold. Michael says that many of your recent questions were not meant to be answered all at once. They were meant to teach you how to listen differently. You are learning to sense truth without needing external confirmation. That is a powerful transition. When you stop asking everyone else what they think, you finally hear what you know. This is why the quiet decision you are facing now feels heavier than expected. It carries weight because it carries consequence. Here is something important about the timing of this message. January 6th is not loud, but it is firm. It marks a point where indecision no longer serves you. You are not being pushed into action, but you are being invited into commitment. Commitment to peace. Commitment to clarity. Commitment to a path that may not impress everyone, but will stabilize you. Archangel Michael wants you to release the idea that every decision must feel exciting. Some of the most powerful choices feel calm. They do not rush your heartbeat. They steady it. Excitement fades quickly when it is not rooted in truth. Peace remains. If you have been waiting to feel a rush before moving forward, you may be waiting for the wrong signal. You are also being asked to trust what is leaving your life without resistance. Not everything that exits does so because it failed. Some things leave because they have completed their assignment. Holding on out of habit creates unnecessary strain. Michael says, what is finished does not need to be mourned. It needs to be honored and released. There is a strengthening happening in your inner world. You may notice that things which once triggered anxiety now simply register as information. That emotional distance is not coldness. It is maturity. It means your nervous system is no longer ruling your decisions. You are responding instead of reacting. This is crucial for what comes next. The decision in front of you does not require urgency, but it does require honesty. Be honest about what drains you. Be honest about what you have outgrown. Be honest about what you keep postponing because it asks more of you than you want to give. Avoiding truth costs more energy than facing it. Michael stands with you as you look at it clearly. You may also feel a subtle sense of protection today, as if nothing can truly disturb your center. That is not imagination. That is spiritual covering. Archangel Michael's presence is not always dramatic. Sometimes it feels like steadiness, like nothing shaking you the way it used to. That is how you know you are being guarded. Let this message reassure you, you are not missing anything by moving slowly. What is meant for you is patient. It will not vanish because you took time to breathe. Rushing has never been your calling. Precision is, and precision requires presence. As this part closes, Michael releases a confirmation for you. The calm you feel is not temporary. It is the foundation of your next season. Do not underestimate the power of a settled spirit. From it, right choices flow naturally. If this is speaking directly to your heart, mark this moment. Type "I receive divine calm" in the comments if this message is anchoring you right now. Blessing code 614 has just been released over those who choose clarity over chaos. I am speaking directly to those who feel the weight of this word and know it is not just for them alone. When you support this work, you are not funding a channel. You are helping this light reach souls who are standing in their own quiet moment of decision. Every seed you sow here becomes oil in the lamp of someone searching for direction. The Spirit is saying, as you release, I release clarity back to you, pressed down and overflowing. This is not a transaction. It is obedience meeting opportunity. If you feel the nudge, act on it now, through super thanks, by joining the membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description. I speak blessing over every giver, that calm direction will multiply in your house and your next steps will be guarded. Do not delay what heaven is prompting. Respond now, and let this message travel further than your own reach. My beloved soul, as this message continues to unfold, Archangel Michael now draws your awareness to the space between knowing and doing. This is where many hesitate, not because they lack faith, but because they sense the weight of responsibility that comes with clarity. When you know what steadies you, you also know what you must stop entertaining. This is the quiet tension you may be feeling today. It is not pressure from above. It is alignment settling into place. There had been a subtle shift in how you respond to uncertainty. Instead of rushing to fix it, you have been observing it. The change alone speaks volumes about your growth. Michael says you are no longer ruled by the need for immediate answers. You are learning to trust the process of revelation. Truth does not always arrive as a full picture. Sometimes it arrives as a single line that draws itself clearer each day. You may notice that certain distractions no longer satisfy you. Conversations feel repetitive. Old habits feel empty. This is not boredom. It is readiness. Your spirit is signaling that it needs substance now, not stimulation. When this happens, it is a sign that you are being prepared for decisions that require depth rather than impulse. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize something important. Calm is not passive. Calm is an active state of trust. It is choosing not to let fear narrate your story. Right now, fear has very little access to you, even if it tries. That is why its voice feels weaker than before. Do not mistake this quiet for lack of movement. Internally, you are moving faster than you realize. There is also a lesson unfolding about control. You have spent time trying to manage outcomes, believing it would keep you safe. But safety is not found in control. It is found in alignment. Michael says, release what you cannot carry without strain. When you let go of outcomes, you make room for guidance. When you loosen your grip, direction becomes clearer. Pay attention to what feels simple today. Simplicity is your ally right now. Complex explanations, overthinking, and mental rehearsals are signs you are stepping outside alignment. The right path will feel straightforward, even if it is not easy. Ease and ease alone is not the goal, clarity is. You are also being reminded that you do not need permission to honor your limits. Saying no is not rejection, it is self-respect. Choosing rest is not laziness, it is wisdom. Archangel Michael stands with those who protect their peace, because peace is where divine instruction is heard most clearly. There may be a moment today when you are tempted to second-guess what you already know. When that happens, pause. Place your attention back on your breath. Truth does not panic when questioned. It remains steady. Anxiety argues. Alignment does not. Learn to tell the difference, and you will save yourself from unnecessary detours. Something else is being recalibrated within you, your relationship with time. You are learning that not everything must happen now to be valid. Timing is not delay when it is guided. Michael says, what unfolds at the right moment carries less resistance. Trust that what is meant to meet you will arrive when you are prepared to receive it without strain. You may feel a growing sense of self-trust returning. This is significant. Self-trust is restored when you honor your own discernment. Each time you listen to that quiet knowing, it strengthens. Each time you ignore it, it weakens. Today is an opportunity to reinforce it gently. Notice how your energy responds when you imagine yourself choosing peace consistently. There is relief there. That relief is confirmation. You were not created to live in constant tension. You were created to move with purpose, not pressure. Purpose feels grounded. Pressure feels heavy. Archangel Michael also speaks reassurance into your future. The decision you are sensing now will not isolate you. It will align you with the right people, conversations, and opportunities. Some connections may fall away, but what replaces them will feel supportive, not demanding. Alignment attracts alignment. Let this message remind you that you are allowed to feel steady even when everything is not resolved. Faith does not require certainty. It requires trust. And trust is built moment by moment, not all at once. As this section draws to a close, remain present with what is rising within you. Do not rush to label it. Do not rush to act on it. Simply acknowledge it. Calm direction continues to unfold when you stay attentive. The clarity you are receiving is not fragile. It will remain with you. And as you continue listening, you will begin to see how this quiet decision connects to something much larger than you first imagined. Beloved heart, as this message flows forward, Archangel Michael now turns your attention to the deeper reason this moment feels so deliberate. What you are experiencing is not just guidance for a single decision, but preparation for a different way of moving through life. You are being trained to recognize alignment before action, peace before progress, and clarity before commitment. The shift may feel subtle, but it is transformative. There has been a pattern in your past of acting once things reached a breaking point. You waited until pressure forced movement. That season is ending. Michael says, you will no longer be driven by exhaustion or urgency, but by understanding. This is why this decision feels quieter than previous ones. You are not reacting anymore. You are responding from a steadier place. You may have noticed that your tolerance for chaos has diminished. Situations that once felt normal now feel draining. This is not sensitivity. It is discernment. Your spirit is recalibrated. When alignment increases, misalignment becomes obvious. This awareness is not meant to frustrate you. It is meant to protect you from repeating cycles that cost you peace. Archangel Michael also wants you to recognize how much strength you have gained without realizing it. You no longer need to convince yourself to be brave. You simply are. Courage has become internal rather than performative. It shows up as quiet consistency, as choosing truth even when no one is watching, as walking away from what no longer fits without needing validation. There is something important about the pace of your life right now. Slowness is not stagnation. Slowness is refinement. When movement is slow, direction can be adjusted with precision. When movement is right, correction becomes painful. Michael says you are being spared unnecessary correction by being guided gently now. You might feel moments of impatience rising, especially when you look ahead and want answers sooner. When that happens, return to the present moment. Ask yourself what is being asked of you today, not tomorrow. Often the only instruction is to stay grounded, to rest, or to observe. These are not passive actions. They are foundational ones. There is also a healing happening around trust. Perhaps you lost trust in your judgment after past outcomes did not go as planned. But those outcomes were shaped by who you were then. You are not the same now. You have more awareness, more boundaries, and more discernment. Do not judge your current capacity by old results. Michael says, you are choosing from a different place now. Pay attention to the difference between peace and comfort. Comfort avoids growth. Peace supports it. Peace may still ask you to stretch, but it will not demand you betray yourself. If a path requires you to ignore your values, silence your intuition, or constantly explain your worth, it is not aligned, no matter how attractive it appears. There may be a realization today that something you have been waiting for externally has already resolved internally. Once inner alignment is achieved, outer circumstances adjust more easily. This is why you may feel less anxious about outcomes lately. You are beginning to trust that what is meant for you will not require strain. Archangel Michael also speaks to your sense of responsibility. You often carry more that is yours. You anticipate needs, fix issues before they arise, and shoulder emotional weight that others avoid. While this comes from care, it can also create imbalance. Michael says, release what was never assigned to you. Responsibility that drains you is not responsibility. It is burden. Notice how much lighter you feel when you stop trying to manage everything. Lightness is a signal. It indicates alignment. The more you honor that feeling, the more consistent it becomes. Your nervous system is learning safety and stillness. This is a gift. You may also sense that certain doors are quietly closing. Do not chase them. What closes now does so to preserve your clarity. Chasing closed doors creates noise. Waiting for the right one creates peace. Michael assures you that nothing essential is being taken away, only what would have complicated your path. This part of the message invites you to practice patience with yourself. Growth is not linear. Some days clarity feels strong, other days it feels distant. Neither defines you. What matters is your willingness to return to stillness when uncertainty appears. Stillness is where guidance regathers. As this section settles, allow yourself to feel gratitude for how far you've come. Not everything is visible yet, but much has already shifted within you. That inner stability is the platform for what comes next. Remain present. The calm direction being offered continues to unfold, and the next insight builds upon this foundation of trust you are now reclaiming. Beloved one, as this message carries on, Archangel Michael now brings your focus to how this calm direction begins to express itself outwardly. Inner alignment does not stay hidden for long. It changes how you speak, how you pause, how you respond instead of react. You may already notice that your tone has softened, your words have become more intentional, and your reactions less automatic. This is not restraint born from fear. It is authority born from peace. There is a refinement happening in how you use your energy. You are becoming more selective without being rigid. You no longer feel the need to attend every argument, explain every choice, or correct every misunderstanding. Michael says, silence guided by clarity is more powerful than words spoken from defense. This is why certain situations no longer pull you in the way they used to. You have outgrown the need to prove yourself. You might also notice that your intuition is now quicker than your logic. Before your mind finishes analyzing, your body already knows what feels right. This is not impulsiveness. This is integration. When mind, body, and spirit begin to agree, decisions feel simpler. The complexity fades. You are not losing depth, you are gaining coherence. Archangel Michael wants to highlight something important about your current season. You are not meant to multitask your purpose. Focus is being restored. Scattered attention dilutes clarity, but focused presence sharpens it. This is why distractions are losing their appeal. Your spirit wants fewer things, done well, with intention. There may be moments when you feel slightly disconnected from people who once felt close. This is not rejection, and it is not abandonment. It is alignment adjust to relationships. Some connections were built around who you were when you were uncertain. As certainty grows, those dynamics naturally change. Michael assures you that new connections will meet you where you are now, not where you used to be. This part of the message also carries encouragement. If you have felt unseen or unheard in your quiet growth, know that visibility is not always immediate. Roots grow in darkness before branches appear. What you are building internally will show externally at the right time. You are not behind. You are beneath the surface, strengthening. Archangel Michael reminds you to check in with yourself today. Ask not what is expected of you, but what is required of you in truth. Often, the two are not the same. Living from expectation leads to exhaustion. Living from truth leads to sustainability. You were not designed to burn out to be valuable. There is also an invitation here to participate actively in this space. If this message continues to resonate, take a moment to like this video so the algorithm carries it to others who are also seeking calm direction. Share it with someone who may need grounding right now. Leave a comment to declare what you are choosing in this season. And if you feel led, subscribe to this channel and become part of this growing community. Your presence here helps sustain the flow of these messages and strengthens the mission behind them. Now hear this carefully. Archangel Michael says that your calm is becoming contagious. Others will sense stability in you even if they cannot name it. They may seek your input, your presence, or your reassurance. Be mindful not to take on their burdens. Offer clarity, not absorption. You can support without carrying. You may also experience moments where old fears attempt to resurface, especially when you step closer to commitment. This is natural. Fear often appears right before alignment settles in fully. Do not interpret its presence as a warning. Interpret it as resistance losing ground. Michael says, fear speaks loudest when it knows it is being replaced. Pay attention to the difference between hesitation and discernment. Discernment is calm and thoughtful. Hesitation is tense and repetitive. One leads to clarity. The other loops endlessly. When you feel stuck in a loop, return to stillness. Ask what you already know but have been avoiding. The answer will not accuse you. It will steady you. There is reassurance here regarding your future steps. You will not be asked to leap blindly. Each step will be revealed as you are ready to take it. This is how sustainable growth works. Rushing reveals too much too soon. Timing protects you from overwhelm. Before this section closes, let yourself be fully present. Do not rush ahead mentally. There is more unfolding, and it connects directly to the stability you are cultivating now. Hold on, because what comes next brings a deeper understanding of how this quiet decision reshapes more than just one area of your life. Beloved soul, as this message unfolds further, Archangel Michael now invites you to see how the quiet decision you are holding begins to ripple outward. What feels personal is never isolated. Inner alignment always reshapes external reality, even when the changes appear subtle at first. You may not announce this shift, but your life will respond to it. The way doors open, the way conversations flow, and the way resistance dissolves will reflect the steadiness you are choosing now. There is a recalibration happening in how you define success. It is no longer measured by how much you accomplish, but by how grounded you remain while moving forward. This is a profound change. When success is rooted in peace, it becomes sustainable. You no longer trade your well-being for progress. Michael says, "What is built in calm endures pressure." This is why the guidance you are receiving now feels foundational rather than flashy. You may notice that your sense of urgency has softened. Where you once felt pushed to decide quickly, you now feel permission to wait until something settles internally. That permission is not hesitation, it is discernment mature. When urgency is removed, truth has room to surface. You are learning to distinguish between pressure created by fear and momentum created by alignment. There is also an adjustment in how you relate to uncertainty. Instead of trying to eliminate it, you are learning to coexist with it without anxiety. This is an advanced form of trust. It means you no longer need full visibility to move forward. You only need enough light for the next step. Michael reminds you that guidance rarely reveals everything at once, because growth happens in partnership, not prediction. You might feel moments of quiet confidence rising unexpectedly. Not arrogance, not pride, confidence rooted in self-trust. This is significant. Self-trust is restored when you consistently honor your inner knowing. Each time you pause instead of react, each time you choose peace over impulse, you strengthen that trust. Over time, it becomes your default state. Archangel Michael also brings awareness to your emotional boundaries. You are becoming more aware of what belongs to you and what does not. Emotional clarity is increasing. You may feel less responsible for managing other people's reactions, moods, or expectations. This is not detachment. It is healthy separation. When boundaries are clear, compassion flows more freely. There is an invitation here to notice how your inner dialogue has changed. The voice that once questioned your worth is quieter. In its place is a more neutral, grounded awareness. This does not mean doubt will never return, but it means doubt no longer leads. Michael says, the loudest voice is no longer fear, it is truth. This shift changes how you move through decisions. You may also sense that your patience has deepened. Situations that once frustrated you now simply register as temporary. This perspective protects your energy. When you stop fighting the moment, you conserve strength for what actually requires your attention. Calm direction does not resist reality. It works with it. There is something important about how you are being guided to listen now. Not just to words, but to timing, tone, and feeling. Guidance comes layered. Sometimes it arrives as a sense of relief when you imagine a certain choice. Sometimes it arrives as discomfort when you consider another. Both are forms of instruction. One pulls you forward, the other redirects you gently away. Archangel Michael reassures you that you are not being asked to make perfect choices. You are being asked to make honest ones. Honesty creates alignment. When you choose honestly, even mistakes become instructive rather than destructive. But when you ignore your truth, even good opportunities feel heavy. There may be a sense that something long-awaited is finally approaching, not through force, but through readiness. You are not chasing it anymore. You are becoming compatible with it. Compatibility attracts opportunity effortlessly. Michael says, what matches your frequency finds you. This is why inner work matters. It sets the signal. You might also feel a growing respect for your own pace. You are no longer comparing your timeline to others. Comparison fades when self-trust grows. Your journey does not need to mirror anyone else's to be valid. The steadiness you are cultivating now will support you in ways speed never could. As this section settles, allow yourself to acknowledge how much has already shifted. Even if circumstances look similar, your internal posture is different. That difference is powerful. It changes outcomes before they manifest. Stay present with this unfolding. The next movement of guidance builds directly on this awareness, revealing how what feels quiet now becomes visibly stabilizing in ways you did not anticipate. Beloved child, as this message reaches deeper, Archangel Michael now reveals how this calm direction begins to stabilize not just your thoughts, but your environment. Inner alignment always reorganizes the outer world, but it does so quietly at first. You may notice fewer disruptions, fewer emotional spikes, fewer moments where everything feels urgent at once. This is not coincidence. This is order returning. There is a reason things feel less dramatic lately. Drama feeds on confusion, and confusion loses its power when clarity takes root. Michael says, when the mind settles, chaos finds no entry point. You are becoming harder to shake, not because you are guarded, but because you are grounded. Grounded people are not easily pulled off course. You may begin to observe that problems which once felt overwhelming now resolve themselves more quickly. Not because they disappeared, but because you are responding differently. Confident. When you stop feeding tension, it starves. This is wisdom in action, even if it does not look impressive from the outside. There is also a softening happening in how you view your past. The red is loosening its grip. You are beginning to see past choices not as failures, but as information that guided you here. This refraining is essential. Shame clouds discernment. Compassion clears it. Archangel Michael stands with those who choose understanding over self-judgment. You may sense a new level of patience with yourself. Where you once demanded immediate results, you now allow space for growth. This patience is not complacency. It is confidence. Confidence does not rush. It knows that what is aligned will arrive in its proper time. There is something else unfolding that deserves your attention. You are becoming more selective about what you allow into your inner world. Media, conversations, even idle thoughts are being filtered more carefully. This is not avoidance. It is stewardship. Michael says, protecting your peace protects your future. But you repeatedly expose yourself to shapes your decisions. You might notice that you are less interested in explaining your journey to others. This is healthy. Not everyone needs to understand your process. Some paths are clarified by walking them, not by justifying them. Silence around your growth is a form of protection, especially while alignment is still settling. Archangel Michael also wants to affirm that your calm is not making you passive. It is making you precise. When action is required, you will know. There will be no confusion. Until then, presence is enough. Preparation often looks like stillness before it looks like movement. There may be moments where you feel tempted to return to old patterns simply because they are familiar. Familiarity is not the same as safety. Familiar chaos is still chaos. Michael says, do not confuse what you survived with what you are meant to live in. Choosing calm may feel unfamiliar at first, but it is your true rhythm. You are also being reminded that peace does not mean the absence of challenge. It means challenges no longer define you. You can face difficulty without losing center. This resilience is being built now, quietly, consistently. It will serve you well in seasons that require leadership, discernment, and steady presence. Notice how your inner dialogue has become more neutral, less extreme. You are no longer swinging between hope and fear as intensely. Balance is forming. Balance is the foundation of wise decision-making. When balance is present, intuition becomes clearer and less distorted by emotion. As this message continues, Archangel Michael invites you to recognize the sacredness of this moment. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are in it. This quiet decision you are holding is already shaping outcomes you cannot yet see. Trust the process unfolding beneath the surface. Before this part closes, allow yourself to receive a confirmation ritual. Type "I walk in steady light" in the comments if this message has anchored you in peace today. Blessing code 8421 is now activated for those who choose calm over confusion. I am speaking to those who feel the stillness of this word and recognize it as a divine moment. When you support this mission, you are helping this calm direction reach souls who are overwhelmed and searching for stability. Every act of giving here becomes a seed planted in quiet ground, and God promises a harvest that steadies many hearts. The Spirit is saying, as you pour into this work, I will pour clarity into your decisions and peace into your household. This is not about money. It is about obedience aligning with purpose. If your heart feels prompted, respond now through Super Thanks, by joining the membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. I speak blessing over every giver, that your steps will be ordered and your discernment will remain sharp. Act now, and let this light continue flowing where it is most needed. Beloved one, as this message moves forward, Archangel Michael now invites you to observe how steadiness begins to translate into quiet confidence. Confidence that does not announce itself. Confidence that does not compete. Confidence that simply stands. This is the kind of confidence that reshapes outcomes without confrontation. You may feel it rising in small moments, when you pause before responding, when you choose not to explain, when you trust your first clear knowing instead of circling back into doubt. There's a shift happening in how you interpret resistance. Before, resistance felt like a sign to push harder or prove something. Now, resistance feels like information. Sometimes it signals misalignment. Other times it signals timing. Either way, it no longer provokes anxiety. Michael says, when you are aligned, resistance instructs rather than intimidates. This changes everything about how you move forward. You may notice that your decisions are becoming less emotionally charged. This does not mean you care less. It means emotion is no longer driving the process. Emotion can inform, but it no longer commands. When emotion steps back, wisdom steps forward. This is the posture Archangel Michael is strengthening within you. There is also a deepening sense of self-respect emerging. You are no longer willing to abandon your peace to keep things comfortable for others. This is not selfishness. This is maturity. Self-respect creates clarity in relationships. It teaches others how to treat you without words. Boundaries formed in calm are stronger than boundaries formed in anger. Michael wants you to recognize that you are learning to sit with uncertainty without filling the space with worry. This is advanced trust. Many confuse faith with certainty, but faith is actually comfort with the unknown. You do not need all the answers to be steady. You only need alignment with the next step. The rest will unfold in time. You may feel moments of unexpected gratitude rising, gratitude for what did not work out, for what fell apart, for what ended before it could drain you further. This gratitude is not denial of pain. It is integration. It means you are extracting wisdom rather than carrying wounds. Michael says, what you understand no longer controls you. There is also a recalibration happening around your expectations. You are no longer expecting life to be easy, but you are expecting it to be honest. This shift protects you from disappointment. When honesty becomes the goal, clarity becomes the reward. You stop romanticizing struggle and start valuing stability. You might notice that your inner world feels quieter, even when external noise exists. This is the result of inner authority taking root. When your inner voice is clear, outer voices lose their power to confuse. You can hear without absorbing. You can listen without losing center. This is discernment in action. Archangel Michael also brings reassurance regarding your pace. You are not slow, you are deliberate. Deliberate movement conserves energy and increases accuracy. You are no longer zigzagging between options. You are narrowing focus. Focus creates momentum without burnout. There may be a realization dawning that some things you thought you wanted no longer fit who you are becoming. This realization may feel bittersweet. Let it be. Growth often requires grieving old versions of ourselves. But do not confuse grief with regret. You are not losing yourself. You are refining. You are also learning that silence can be an answer. Not every situation requires immediate response. Sometimes the absence of urgency is itself guidance. Michael says, what is truly meant for you will wait for clarity, not demand confusion. This truth protects you from rushed commitments and misaligned agreements. As this message continues, notice how your breathing naturally slows when you settle into presence. Your body is responding to alignment. The nervous system recognizes safety. When the body feels safe, the mind becomes clearer. When the mind is clear, decisions become simpler. There is a quiet authority forming within you. Authority that does not control others, but governs self. Self-governance is powerful. It means you are no longer pulled by every emotion or opinion. You choose consciously. This is the kind of authority Archangel Michael honors and supports. You may also feel a subtle excitement about the future, not the restless kind, but a grounded anticipation. It is the sense that something is aligning behind the scenes. That sense is accurate. Alignment often works invisibly before it becomes visible. Trust what you feel without demanding proof. As this section comes to rest, remain attentive. The next unfolding brings practical integration. How this calm direction begins to shape action without pressure, movement without force, and progress without losing peace. Stay present. What comes next connects inner steadiness with outward steps in a way that feels natural and sustainable. Beloved child, as this message continues, Archangel Michael now turns your attention toward how calm direction becomes lived action without strain. This is where many misunderstand alignment. They assume movement must feel intense, dramatic, or risky. But aligned movement feels measured. It feels intentional. It feels like each step supports the next instead of competing with it. This is the rhythm you are learning now. You may notice that when you finally act on something you have been discerning, it does not create chaos. It creates relief. That relief is confirmation. Action rooted in clarity removes weight instead of adding it. Michael says, when you move with truth, you do not lose energy, you recover it. This is how you know you are no longer forcing outcomes. There is a new relationship forming between you and effort. Effort is no longer about pushing through resistance. It is about cooperating with timing. You are beginning to sense when to move and when to wait, not from fear, but from awareness. This awareness is what makes progress sustainable. It prevents burnout before it begins. You may feel guided to take small, practical steps rather than sweeping changes. Do not underestimate them. Small line steps compound quickly. Larger line steps collapse just as fast. Archangel Michael reminds you that consistency built in calm outlasts intensity built in pressure. There is also an adjustment happening in how you measure results. You are less attached to immediate outcomes and more attentive to internal signals. You are asking, does this feel steady? Instead of, does this look successful? This shift protects you from performing a life instead of living one. You may also notice that you are becoming more decisive, not because options disappeared, but because clarity increased. Decisiveness rooted in peace feels different from decisiveness rooted in fear. One closes doors gently. The other slams them shut. Michael says you are learning the difference. As this message continues to resonate, take a moment to anchor it practically. If these words are helping you navigate your own quiet decisions, like this video so others can find it when they need steadiness too. Share it with someone who has been feeling overwhelmed by choices. Leave a comment declaring what you are choosing in this season, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and stay connected. Your support strengthens this space and allows these messages to continue reaching those who need calm direction. And now hear this carefully. Archangel Michael says that aligned action does not require constant motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Alignment does not. When you are aligned, even ordinary tasks carry meaning. Even simple actions feel purposeful. This is why your days may feel more grounded lately, even when nothing dramatic is happening. You may encounter moments where old habits try to resurface, especially habits of overthinking or self-doubt. When that happens, do not fight them aggressively. Simply notice them and return to presence. Fighting thoughts gives them energy. Observing them dissolves them. Calm awareness is more powerful than resistance. There is also guidance here around communication. You are being encouraged to speak less but more intentionally. Words spoken from clarity land differently. They do not need decoration or defense. You may find yourself choosing silence more often, not because you have nothing to say, but because not everything needs to be said. Archangel Michael also reassures you that you are not meant to carry the full picture alone. Guidance will continue to arrive as you move. You are not expected to plan every step in advance. Planning has its place, but over-planning blocks intuition. Leave room for adjustment. Flexibility is not weakness, it is wisdom. You may feel moments of impatience as you wait for external confirmation that you are on the right path. When that happens, return inward. External confirmation often lags behind internal alignment. The feeling of steadiness is already your confirmation. Results will follow in their own time. There is a quiet joy beginning to emerge, not excitement, but contentment. Contentment does not mean you stop growing. It means you stop striving. Growth from contentment is healthier than growth from dissatisfaction. Michael says, what grows from peace bears lasting fruit. Before this part settles, let this land deeply. You are not behind. You are not confused. You are not missing something crucial. You are integrating. Integration is slower than reaction, but it is far more powerful. This is the stage where insight becomes embodiment. Hold on, because what unfolds next brings a deeper revelation about how this calm direction reshapes not only your decisions, but your sense of identity and purpose moving forward. Beloved one, as this message continues to unfold, Archangel Michael now brings your attention to a deeper layer that has been quietly forming beneath every decision, every pause, every moment of discernment. This calm direction is not only guiding what you do, it is reshaping how you see yourself. Identity shifts always come before destiny shifts. When the inner definition changes, the outer path follows naturally. You may notice that you no longer identify with struggle the way you once did. Struggle is no longer your proof of worth. You are no longer measuring your value by how much you endure or how much you sacrifice. This is a sacred release. Michael says, you were never meant to suffer to be chosen. You were chosen, therefore you are learning to live differently. This realization alone removes a heavy burden from your spirit. There is a growing awareness that peace is not something you earn after everything is resolved. Peace is something you carry into unresolved spaces. You are learning that your steadiness does not depend on circumstances aligning perfectly. It depends on your alignment with truth. This understanding changes how you face uncertainty. You are no longer bracing for impact. You are standing grounded. You may feel a subtle but profound shift in how you introduce yourself to life. Less apology, less explanation, less justification. This does not mean you have become distant. It means you are becoming rooted. Rooted people do not sway with every opinion. They listen, discern, and respond when necessary. This rootedness is becoming your new normal. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize that this season is refining your authority. Not authority over others, but authority over self. Self-authority is the foundation of all lasting leadership. When you govern your inner world with clarity, the outer world responds with respect. This is why you may notice people engaging with you differently lately. They sense the shift even if they cannot name it. There is also healing happening around how you view responsibility. You are beginning to separate responsibility from guilt. You are learning that you can care deeply without caring everything. This distinction protects your energy and preserves your compassion. Michael says you are called to be present, not to be consumed. This truth frees you from overextension. You might notice that decisions feel less personal in an emotional sense and more personal in a purposeful sense. You are choosing what aligns with who you are becoming, not who you were afraid of disappointing. This is a major transition. It signals maturity of spirit. When fear of disappointment fades, authenticity strengthens. There is also a recalibration of desire happening. You are no longer driven by the need to prove something or reach a certain image. You are drawn toward what feels meaningful, sustainable, and true. Desire aligned with peace creates fulfillment. Desire driven by lack creates exhaustion. You are learning to tell the difference. Archangel Michael reassures you that it is safe to trust this new way of being. You do not need to return to old patterns to survive. Those patterns served you once, but they are no longer required. Survival is giving way to stability. Stability is giving way to purpose. This is the natural progression of growth. You may also feel a quiet courage emerging, the courage to remain yourself even when it is not mirrored by others. This courage does not demand recognition. It simply exists. Michael says, stand where you are clear, even if others are still searching. Your clarity does not isolate you, it anchors you. Notice how your inner conversations have changed. There is less self-criticism and more observation, less judgment and more understanding. This internal environment is essential for wise movement forward. When the inner world is safe, the outer world becomes navigable. There may be moments where you grieve the version of yourself who lived in constant tension. Allow that grief. It honors how far you've come. But do not return there. That version carried you through, but it is not meant to lead you forward. You are stepping into a more integrated identity now. Archangel Michael also speaks reassurance into your future roles. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being asked to become more fully yourself. Authenticity is your assignment. Alignment is your protection. Presence is your power. As this section settles, take a moment to recognize the depth of what has already changed. You are not just making better decisions. You are becoming a steadier person. And steadiness attracts clarity, opportunity, and connection without force. Remain present, because what unfolds next brings this entire message to completion, revealing how this calm direction becomes a lasting foundation, not just for now, but for the season ahead. My beloved child, as this message comes to its completion, Archangel Michael speaks with a gentle finality, not an ending, but a sealing. What has been unfolding through these moments of listening is not temporary guidance. It is a foundation. Calm direction was never meant to be a single choice you make once. It is meant to become the way you walk forward from here. You are stepping into a season where clarity is not chased, it is carried. You will notice that decisions no longer feel like internal battles. Even when choices are serious, they will not steal your peace. This is how you will know the shift has fully taken root. Michael says, when alignment is established, confusion no longer has authority. That authority has returned to you. There is a deep settling happening now. It may feel like a quiet confidence, or like an internal exhale you didn't realize you were holding. This is integration. Everything you have discerned is finding its place within you. You are no longer gathering insight. You are embodying it. Embodiment changes outcomes more than information ever could. You may notice going forward that your reactions are slower, but your responses are stronger. You will speak less, but your words will carry more weight. You will move with intention instead of impulse. This is not restraint born from fear. This is maturity born from trust. Archangel Michael stands beside those who choose this path, guarding not just their steps, but their discernment. There is also a promise being released over you now. The calm you have chosen will protect you in moments that once would have shaken you. Situations may arise that test this steadiness, but they will not break it. What is rooted does not collapse under pressure. It adapts and remains. You are being reminded that your life does not need to look dramatic to be meaningful. Quiet alignment often produces the most lasting fruit. You will begin to see how relationships adjust, how opportunities align, how doors open without force. This is not coincidence. It is order responding to alignment. Archangel Michael speaks directly to your future and says that the next steps will meet you with confirmation, not confusion. You will recognize what is meant for you because it will feel supportive, not draining. It will invite your presence, not demand your anxiety. Trust that you will know. There is also a release happening now from the pressure to rush. You are allowed to live deliberately. You are allowed to move at the speed of clarity. The world may move quickly, but you do not need to match its pace to be relevant. Relevance rooted in peace is rare and powerful. You may feel a sense of gratitude rising as this message closes. Gratitude not just for what is coming, but for what has already been resolved within you. that gratitude is a seal. It marks completion of one internal chapter and the readiness for another. Archangel Michael now offers this final reminder. You are protected in your calm. You are guided in your stillness. You are supported in your discernment. You not abandon this way of being when things get busy again. Calm direction is not a moment, it is a posture. If this entire message has spoken to you, mark it now. Type "I walk in divine clarity" in the comments if you receive this word fully. Blessing code 9306 is now released over those who choose alignment, peace, and steady steps. I am speaking to those who feel that this message was not random, but assigned. When you support this work, you are helping this calm, steady light reach souls who are standing in confusion and need direction without fear. Every seed you release here becomes a lamp in someone else's darkness, and heaven sees it. The Spirit is declaring, as you respond to this call, I will respond to you with ordered steps and protected decisions. This is not charity. It is partnership with purpose. Act now through super thanks, by joining the membership, or through the PayPal donation link in the description, and let obedience move through you. I speak blessing over every giver, that clarity will multiply in your life and peace will guard your household. Do not hesitate. Respond now, and let this mission continue flowing through you.